All right, so I personally wouldn't touch most pre-construction projects with my own money. I wouldn't put my own money into probably 95% of these pre-construction projects that are being launched. Now, that's not to say that you shouldn't, because you're not me, and investing is subjective, and everybody's own personal situation is different from the next person. However, a project has launched that I would consider investing in, and today I'm going to talk about all the pros and cons of investing in that project and why I would consider putting my money in it. And I'm that Agent Kelly, and if you guys enjoy real estate content as it pertains to Canadian real estate, Vancouver, Abbotsford, Fraser Valley, etc., subscribe to the channel, like this video, and if you want to book a chat with me, I've got a link in my description that goes right into my calendar. Okay, so this right here is Surrey's newest high-rise. It's called Juno. It's located on 138 and 104. It's 34 stories total with commercial on the bottom, retail, like cafes. It's probably gonna be a hair salon and a sushi place just because there's a hair salon and a sushi place everywhere. And it's 341 units in total, located right here in Surrey Central. Now, as I said, there's not a lot of pre-construction projects I would touch. And me personally, I don't actually like high rises because the strata fees are high, the deposit's always 15 to 20%. And I just feel like the costs are always severely inflated over what resale value is at that time. However, there is something special, or a few things special, that I like particularly about this project. So I'm gonna go over the starting prices of this project here. So you'll see, now they will never give you exact pricing, by the way, because the developer wants to be able to change that pricing based on demand. They want to be able to lower it or increase it based on how much demand there is for the product. And for that reason, they give you starting prices. That way, if they need to change the prices later on, they're not pissing anybody off. They don't want somebody to pay too much money and then the next guy pays too little and then they both know about it. Or, somebody pays way more than the next guy. They don't want everybody to know the prices because if they did that, it would just be an HR nightmare. So this one right here, let's take the one bedroom for example. It says starting price is the high 400s. And by the way, when they say high 400s, they typically mean $499,900. So if we look at the starting price, what this essentially means is that is the lowest price you'll get. So $499,000 is likely this 488 square foot floor plan on the lowest possible floor that it's available. So this might be, a one bedroom, say on the fourth floor. The 488 square foot one bedroom on the fourth floor. Now, the beautiful thing about this project, there's a couple things, right? Number one, this is a 10% deposit high rise. There has never been a high rise launched at 10%. The developer likely had to put down a whole whackload of cash to get those terms with their lender or possibly put up another property as collateral. This is very uncharacteristic for a high rise. And not only that, it's only 5% right away and 5% in 3 months. So that deposit structure is doesn't get better than that. That's as good as it's gonna get for a high rise. But not only that, this project is expected to complete summer of 2028. So that means lock up 10% and nothing else for the next 4.5 years. Now, are you paying higher than market value for this product? Yes, you are, right? You could probably find a resale unit on the market that's 10% cheaper than what these prices are. However, this is built by 𝐎𝐒. This builder's been in the business for 70 years. They have a very good name in the industry, so that ticks off that box. It's a 10% deposit, that ticks off that box. And believe it or not, this pricing at around $1,000 a square foot is unbelievable pricing for Surrey Central right now. There was another project, I'm not gonna say the name. I went into that sales center a couple months back and they had 690 square foot 2 beds on like the 25th floor and they were asking $930K for those 2 beds. And guess what? They sold. So that project had units at around $1,300 a square foot and they sold. This project is $1,000 a square foot and it's only a 10% deposit. And the reason why I would personally consider picking up a unit in here is, like I said, I'm very bullish on Surrey Central over the long term. I think Surrey's downtown core is going to completely change over the next 10 years. I think Surrey Central is going to start building commercial towers and bringing in high-paying jobs into the city. I think, with a 10% deposit and then pay nothing for 4.5 years, I can take the other 10% that I would normally have to lock up into the property and be cash flow negative, and I can invest the other 10% in frickin' Nike stock. Who cares, right? And likely that other 10% should increase in value, or I should get a good enough ROI on the other 10% to make up the delta, the premium that I'm paying for buying the pre-sale product. That should pay off the GST. That should pay off the differential in price that I pay over resale. And as well, it gives me the flexibility that I might be able to assign this unit before the 4.5 years are over. Now, obviously, maybe not. And if I can't, I would just close on it and then get a mortgage and rent it out. It's a great area to own a rental unit in. Because if I buy something today, I have to lock up a full 20% at today's rents, at today's rates, be cash flow negative, and I have that full 20% invested. So the ROI is about half as low if the property values do increase. Not exactly, but I'm just generalizing right now to make things easier. But if I buy, say, something like this, well, there's a very good chance that rents are going to be higher in 4.5 years. It's a very good chance that rates are going to be lower in 4.5 years. And by the time I have to complete on this, it might even be cash flow positive, to be honest. And in the meantime, I can take that other 10% and invest it in something else. Now, am I telling you to go buy this project? No, I'm just pleading the case for why somebody might want to buy a pre-sale right now. Because as we all know, pre-sale prices there is a delta between pre-sale and resale that's pretty wide at the moment. Why would you buy a pre-sale when you can go buy resale? Well, when that gap closes, you don't get opportunities like this with a 10% 4.5 year long completion. Those terms are unbelievable. You know, it's a great product, say if you're retired and you want to get your son something, or maybe your son is in high school, or your daughter's in high school, and you just want to get them something. Put a 10% deposit down on a unit, and in 4.5 years, they're ready to move into it. In the meantime, they can save more money, they can get a better job, they can et cetera, et cetera. It's good for, if you're living at home right now, but you have a deposit, you can put down a deposit, you don't need to worry about it for 4.5 years. And from an investment standpoint, it just gives you so much flexibility and so many options when you only need to lock up that 10% for 4.5 years, and that's it. So again, I'm not pleading the case that you should go buy this project or you should buy a pre-sale. I'm just explaining to you guys, for the purpose of education, why I might actually consider buying one of these units. So if you guys enjoyed this video, like, subscribe. I'm that Agent Kelly. I'm making moves to move you.